Imagine it is 88 BC. The city of Rome stands at the height of its power, a beacon of civilization and order in a world often ruled by chaos. The streets are alive with merchants, politicians, and citizens going about their daily business, confident in the strength and stability of their home. You're a Roman citizen, standing in the Forum, the heart of your city. The air is filled with the sounds of debate, commerce, and laughter. This is the center of Roman life, where the fate of the Republic is decided, and where tradition is everything. Rome feels safe, protected by ancient laws and traditions. Weapons are forbidden within the sacred city limits, a rule that has kept the city free from the threat of military violence for centuries. The city walls are more than just stone, they are a symbol of peace and order. Suddenly, you hear the tramp of marching feet and the clatter of swords echoing through the streets. The familiar sounds of the army, once a source of pride, now fill you with dread. You look to the gates. Roman legionaries, led by one of your own generals, are marching on Rome itself. The disciplined ranks of soldiers, faces set and eyes forward, move with purpose and determination. The city holds its breath. This is no foreign invasion, it's Romans against Romans. Neighbors, friends, and even family members are suddenly on opposite sides, torn apart by political ambition and fear. For centuries, no general had dared to bring his army into Rome. It was the ultimate taboo, a line that no one crossed. The very idea was unthinkable, a betrayal of everything Rome stood for. The army was meant to defend Rome, not threaten it. Soldiers swore oaths to protect the Republic, not to turn their swords against their own people. Now those oaths are being tested in the most dramatic way possible. But now, the unthinkable is happening. The city's laws and traditions are shattered in an instant. Panic spreads as citizens realize that the old rules no longer apply, and that safety is no longer guaranteed. This is the moment the Republic begins to unravel. The foundations of Roman society, trust, law, and order, are cracking under the weight of ambition and violence. The man leading this act is Lucius Cornelius Sulla, a respected general, now turning his army on his own city. Sulla's name will be forever linked to this dark turning point in Roman history. Sulla claims he's saving Rome, but he's unleashing a new kind of power. The loyalty of soldiers over the authority of the Senate. The balance of power is shifting, and the consequences will echo for generations. This march sets a deadly precedent. Ambitious generals will now see that with an army, they can seize anything, even Rome itself. The door is open for future leaders to use force instead of law, ambition instead of tradition. The first domino falls. The Republic's long descent into chaos and civil war has begun. The streets that once rang with the sounds of daily life will soon echo with the cries of battle and the clash of swords. The world will never be the same. Rome, once the unshakable heart of an empire, is now vulnerable to the ambitions of its own sons. The story of the Republic is forever changed, and the consequences will shape the course of history. By 88 BC, Rome is a superpower ruling lands from Spain to Asia Minor, but this expansion brings deep problems: corruption, inequality, and a swelling gap between rich and poor. Small farmers lose their land to wealthy elites, while the urban poor grow restless. Two political factions emerge: the Optimates, conservative aristocrats defending tradition, and the Populares, who claim to champion the people. The Optimates want to keep power in the Senate. The Populares push for reforms and use popular support to bypass tradition. Men like Sulla back the Optimates. Others, like Marius, rise with the Populares. The Senate is divided, violence is on the rise, and the Republic's stability is crumbling. Political rivalry is turning deadly. The stage is set for disaster. At the heart of Rome's crisis stand two extraordinary men, Gaius Marius and Lucius Cornelius Sulla. Their names would become forever linked to the fate of the Republic, their ambitions shaping the destiny of Rome itself. Marius, a self-made hero from humble origins, rises through sheer determination. He reforms the Roman army, opening its ranks to the poor and transforming it into a formidable force. His victories against foreign enemies bring glory and security to Rome, earning him the admiration of the people. But with these reforms, a dangerous shift occurs. Soldiers now pledge loyalty to their generals, not to the Senate or the state. The balance of power begins to tilt. Sulla, on the other hand, is an ambitious aristocrat, born into privilege but determined to prove his brilliance. He is cunning, strategic, and utterly ruthless in pursuit of his goals. Initially, Marius and Sulla work together as allies, but But their partnership sours when Sulla captures the elusive King Jugurtha, only for Marius to claim the credit. This betrayal plants the seeds of bitter rivalry. Sulla's pride is deeply wounded, while Marius is infuriated by Sulla's growing ambition and refusal to remain in his shadow. Their personal animosity becomes public. As both men achieve military victories and amass loyal followers, their feud intensifies. Each seeks to outmaneuver the other, both on the battlefield and in the political arena. Marius emerges as the champion of the popularis, the voice of the common people. Sulla becomes the hope of the optimates, the conservative aristocrats determined to preserve their power. Their personal conflict soon mirrors the deepening political divide within Rome itself, splitting the Senate and the people into rival factions. The city is a powder keg, and all it needs is a single spark to ignite open war between these two titans. Two powerful leaders, two competing visions for Rome, neither willing to compromise, neither willing to back down. The fragile republic cannot contain the ambitions of both men. The very foundations of Roman government begin to tremble. Inevitably, their rivalry erupts into open violence, plunging Rome into a brutal civil war that will change the course of history. Rome's fate now hangs in the balance. The crisis is coming, and the outcome will determine the future of the republic and the world. The spark comes from the east. King Mithridates of Pontus slaughters tens of thousands of Romans in Asia Minor. Rome must respond. The Senate gives Sulla command of the war. But Marius, aging but still ambitious, wants the glory for himself. He allies with the tribune Sulpicius, who uses mob violence to pass a law stripping Sulla of command and giving it to Marius. Sulla, preparing his army, is outraged. His honor and future stolen by political maneuvering. The Senate's authority is undermined. Mob rule has triumphed. Sulla faces a choice: accept humiliation or fight back. The stakes are personal and political. The Republic's rules are breaking down. Sulla's next move will change history. Sulla, with his legions in southern Italy, learns his command has been stolen. He can surrender to political defeat or do the unthinkable. Sulla appeals to his soldiers. Their rewards and futures are at risk if Marius takes over. The troops, loyal to Sulla, urge him to act. The bond between general and army now outweighs loyalty to the state. Most of Sulla's officers refuse to join him, horrified by the idea of marching on Rome. But the rank and file remain steadfast. Sulla decides. He will march on Rome, claiming to liberate it from tyranny. The die is cast. The Republic's greatest taboo is about to be broken. Rome will never be the same. The age of civil war begins. The news of Sulla's relentless march towards Rome sends shockwaves through the city, plunging it into utter chaos and fear. The once peaceful streets are now filled with anxiety and uncertainty. In a desperate bid to protect their beloved city, Marius and Sulpicius hastily organize a defense, arming not only the citizens, but also the gladiators. The city's defenders, though brave, are a patchwork of hastily assembled forces. However, Sulla's professional and battle-hardened legions, with their disciplined formations and superior tactics, quickly overpower the makeshift defenders. The defenders' courage is no match for the seasoned soldiers. The city transforms into a chaotic battlefield, with Romans tragically fighting against their fellow Romans in the narrow, smoke-filled streets. The air is thick with the cries of battle and the clashing of swords. Ordinary citizens, driven by desperation, resist fiercely, hurling stones from rooftops. Yet, Sulla's men retaliate with brutal efficiency, setting buildings ablaze and leaving destruction in their wake. As the city falls into Sulla's hands, Marius and his allies have no choice but to flee, leaving behind a city in turmoil. Sulla's army seizes control, marking a dark chapter in Rome's history. For the first time in its storied history, Rome falls to its own soldiers, a shocking and unprecedented event that shakes the very foundations of the Republic. Sulla, now in power, declares his enemies outlaws. Executions become commonplace, and the gruesome display of severed heads on pikes becomes a chilling symbol of his reign. The Senate, gripped by fear, is coerced into legitimizing Sulla's actions, restoring his command and authority. The senators, once powerful, now find themselves mere pawns in Sulla's game. The sanctity and glory of Rome are shattered, its temples and statues now mere shadows of their former grandeur. The city's spirit is broken, and its future uncertain. Sulla believes he has restored order, but in truth, he has only exposed the Republic's deep-seated fragility. His actions have set a dangerous precedent. Violence has become an accepted tool of politics, a means to an end in the ruthless pursuit of power. The Republic's ideals are overshadowed by the sword. The precedent is set. Power now belongs to those who command an army. The Republic's old rules and traditions are cast aside in favor of might and military strength. Rome's old rules are gone, replaced by a new, harsher reality. The city, once the heart of a great republic, now stands as a testament to the fragility of power and the inevitability of change. Marius, now a fugitive, flees south, hiding in marshes and barely escaping execution. Locals, moved by his legend, help him escape to Africa. Meanwhile, Sulla leaves Rome to fight Mithridates, hoping his reforms will hold. But as soon as Sulla departs, his enemies plot their return. Cinna, the new consul, calls Marius back from exile. Together they raise an army and march on Rome, just as Sulla did. The city, besieged and starving, surrenders. Marius enters not as a savior, but as a conqueror, ready for revenge. The cycle of violence continues. Marius's return unleashes a bloody purge. Enemies are hunted, the rule of law collapses. Marius dies soon after, but the violence he and Sulla began will haunt Rome. Sulla returns, defeats his rivals, and becomes dictator, launching his own wave of terror. He claims to restore the Republic, but the damage is done. Sulla's true legacy is the example he set. With a loyal army, any man can seize power. The Constitution is now just paper. Might makes right. Future leaders, Crassus, Pompey, Caesar, will follow Sulla's path. The Republic's fatal wound is open. Rome's soldiers have learned they can conquer not just foreign lands, but Rome itself. The age of the Republic is ending. The age of emperors is near.